What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Don't Quote Us Sports, the podcast where the takes are bold, the stats are questionable, and the accountability is non-existent. I'm your host, Isaiah, along with Herb and Big Rob, and we've got an episode full of madness. We start off in the NBA, where we got some breaking news coming across the desk. Jokic, the Joker, decided not to sign an extension at the moment. Mike Brown being named as the newest head coach of the New York Knickerbockers. And are the Phoenix Suns and Bradley Beal finally coming to a divorce after all this time? Then we move over to the MLB All-Star game, which is coming up early next week. And boy, do we have some opinions on who made it and who did not. We got to get rid of the fan voting. It makes no fucking sense. We also give a little bit of a Paul Skeens watch for those who are unaware as to what's going on in Pittsburgh, because it will shock you without a doubt. Then Herb poses a very interesting question towards the middle to the end of our episode. So please stick around to find out if Joey Chestnut or Usain Bolt could win in a mix and match race hot dog eating contest with some game-breaking analysis with it. And then lastly, in honor of the College Football 2026 release, the fellas and I do a snake draft of the top college football traditions. So make sure to listen and let us know who had the best list. What is up? Welcome back to Don't Quote Us Sports. And fellas, can I get a little bit of a drum roll, please? Because guess what? We bring you episode number 10. We made it to double digits, boys.
Hell yeah, baby. Number 10.
Who would have thought?
I didn't know if we would make it this far, but I'm glad we did.
We're still learning as we go, but 10 episodes.
Oh God, we don't have a clue what we're doing.
We're flying at this rate. But
No excitement coming out of Rob's camp, huh? Rob's just, hey, another day.
It's ho-hum for him.
Just cruising along, baby.
Rob's just, yeah, I'm here.
It's just another Tuesday talking about sports.
All right.
But like Rob said, let's talk some sports then. And what better place to start than, I would say, breaking news of the night. Nikola Jokic, a.k.a. the Joker, for some reason, report comes out tonight that he is not interested in signing an extension with Denver. And I just feel like the timing of this is extremely odd, personally. We all looked at his contract details. So he has this upcoming season, next season, the following season, and then he has a player option for 2 seasons. So technically he's under contract for 3 more years. So I don't even know why we're talking extensions at this point, but it leads me personally to believe that if it's coming out now, he's either very unhappy with the direction Denver is currently going, or my man is counting down the days until he is back in his homeland, chilling with his horses, going to the racetrack on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I mean, we looked at the contract. I mean, it just doesn't make sense for me for him to sign right now. I just don't see a reason for him to, especially if he's set to make, 70 to 100 more million if he waits. Plus, you're 2 years into you just finished your second year of a 5-year contract, and we're talking about extensions. It's just, I don't know, man. It seems like a headline of a headline for people. I know that the GM and others with the Nuggets talked about, they're going to at least going to throw it out there, throw him a line, see if he wants to bait on it, but they're not expecting him to obviously sign. I think they were hoping that it would save them a little money down the line if they get him to sign now, which it would, based on that final year. But if I'm Jokic, I'm doing the same exact thing, man. If I can get more money down the line, because the reason I say that too is also all the other reports are saying he's happy with what the Nuggets moves that they've done so far, and he's been okay with everything. So I know you got the Valanciunas thing kind of hanging over that no one knows what's going on with that. But, I mean, I think he's a Nugget till the end. So I don't – he signs next year, sure. If he signs the year after, sure. I'm not too worried about it.
It makes no sense why we're even talking about it. I mean, it's a headline. Like, it is news, but it'd be huge news if, like, he had just gone – or he's going into his final year of his deal. But like you said, he's on the second – just finished year 2 of 5. Here's what I think happened, okay? There's a clip came out over the weekend, a Jokic's horse over in Serbia winning a buggy race, all right? I think Jokic was partying it up this weekend and sent a text message to the GM, a little liquored up, celebrating a big horse and buggy victory. I think that's what we're looking at here. I don't know why he chose now. That's got to be the reason.
It almost feels like it was like an intentional leak by somebody from Jokic's camp. Essentially starting to put the pressure on Denver a little bit. Although I will preface it by saying I would not be surprised whatsoever if Jokic gets to the end of this contract I think he'll be 32 by the end of this current deal he's on. I want to say
32, 33. Yeah, somewhere in there.
I would not be surprised in the slightest if he just retired. Like middle of his prime and just went back to Serbia and hung out with his horses, and he would be completely content. Like, I would not be shocked whatsoever. But on the flip side, I feel like it could be a subtle way from his camp to be like, hey, just know, I know we have 3 years left, but if it's kind of like what Giannis is doing with the Bucks, where he's kind of holding it over their heads, like, I could leave if you guys don't build around me. Like, give me the pieces I need to win, you know? Like, I'm not going to sit here and play for a middling team. Type of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, Jokic has been for like a year now. He's a flight risk. He could call up the Nuggets tomorrow and go, "Fuck it, I'm done. Take care. Good luck to you. I'm going home." Like, he's been like that. That's always been the concern. And also, like you said about putting pressure on the Nuggets 3 years in advance, they're playing that much of a slow play. Hey, 3 years from now, they're going to feel it, bro.
Hey, if I'm not
they're going to feel this fucking pressure.
Giannis was kind of 2 years, 2.5 years. He started saying things about he wasn't guaranteed to re-sign. So I don't think it's anything like groundbreaking or new that's happening in the NBA today.
What a slow play.
Yeah, I mean, too, if anything, for me, I see it a different way. The Nuggets still obviously show commitment in them, which is obviously as expected. But I just think it's silly that 2 years into a 4 or 5 year deal, we're talking about a player doesn't want to sign an extension. Well, duh. I mean, it's like
when that came out and I texted you guys, I legit was like, "Oh fuck, I didn't even know Jokic was. I thought his contract was up in a couple years." All of a sudden, I'm thinking I'm wrong and that we're looking at next season. Nope. It's like 2028. He's going to retire. He's not playing past 32, 33. He's going to be I'm out. I'm good.
The last year of that contract, he's getting paid $62 million. You know how many horses you can buy with $62 mil?
Do you know, hold on. You know what the conversion rate of USD to Serbian currency is?
I'll give you brownie points if you can tell me what the national currency in Bosnia is.
Serbia. They use the Serbian dinar.
You did not know that off the top of your head.
I'm sitting here looking at the conversion right now.
I was going to say.
600 million, right?
600 million? Where the hell did you get that number?
60 million would equate, I can't even read it. There's the million. I mean, it's in the billions for the Serbian dinar. Good for Nikola.
In fairness, they're probably using the American dollar over there. Let's be honest.
I don't know about that,
for me too, man. It's like leasing an apartment, right? And you're 2 months in, and they're like, "Hey,
do you want to re-up?
Sign your fucking lease." The fuck, I do.
Do you want to re-up?
It just doesn't make any sense.
I'm moving.
If he continues playing, if next season he's like, you know what? Because he goes hard all season long, and that's something you can respect for that. And if at the end of his contract, he's like, you know what, I'm good. You know, I won another ring. I'm good. So be it. I think he's good where he's at. And if there's that extra year, if he does choose to re-sign, that extra $80 million that he's going to make, it's worth it waiting, 11 months to do that or whatever the case is.
So I want to throw out a hypothetical, just out of curiosity of where you guys currently stand. So let's say Jokic plays out the rest of this contract, so the next 3 seasons, and he plays at the same level he's been playing at. So let's say finishing the season top 5 MVP, maybe wins another one, makes the playoffs, maybe makes another deep playoff run. If he retired at 32 with 3 or 4 MVPs, however first team All NBAs, the championship, where would you place him all time in terms of centers? Because outside of the championships, I almost want to put him top 3 already.
I mean, you're putting. I mean, that's.
I would have.
He's up there, dude. You're talking about Shaq and
Kareem, Shaq, Bill Russell, Wilt, Jokic. Those are the top 5.
Okay.
In some order, I think. Maybe Hakeem. I'm not putting. I'm not putting Karl Malone because he's a rapist.
Ayo.
So that was said.
Factual. Look it up.
Was he convicted in the court of law?
Yes, actually. He got a 13-year-old pregnant.
Then we're good. I do remember that. Now, Hakeem offensively was not what Jokic. I mean, you said top 3 and then put him 6.
No,
That's
I wasn't.
a little more
in specific order. I'm just listing who was in the conversation. I still have him top 3.
It's hard for me to put him over Bill Russell, Wilt, and Shaq. So top 5, yeah.
You didn't even mention Kareem.
Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, so I mean he's 5 right there because it's yeah. Yeah, it's Kareem, Shaq, Bill. Who am I missing there?
Kareem, Shaq, Bill.
Oh my God, who did I just say?
Wilt.
Oh, anyway, Wilt and then Jokic. Top 5 I'll give you. Top 3, not yet.
I think for me, and I think Shaq and other people have talked about it, is, he's creeping up there. But as far as, I think Shaq's career almost spanned 20 years, if I remember right. So it's like, I think Jokic is in his 9th or 10th year.
But how many of those Shaq years were ho-hum, like, years at the end?
The last 6 were rough.
Yeah, where you should have pulled the plug.
Last 6 were rough. But, I mean, the point is what I say now, I think he's definitely... I think, what is he, 5-6 years of first team All NBA?
I was just going to pull
He has 3 MVPs, right?
Yeah, so
3 MVPs, 1 ring.
7-time All-Star, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 first teams, 2 second teams, and 3 MVPs.
Yeah, he's Hall. I mean, he's in the Hall.
Yeah, easily.
We're talking Hall. I mean, throw another MVP or 2 in there, which... the way he's playing, I'm not seeing anything declining. So I think he can easily break the top 5 at the end of it. I think a ring would help because some of those guys got rings.
So let me throw this out, okay? And Rob knows this from other conversations. And Isaiah, I don't know if I've ever said this to you, but I consider Dirk Nowitzki the best international player to ever play in the NBA. At what point is Jokic taking that over?
He already has.
You think so?
In my opinion. And I would put Hakeem over. Technically, you could put Tim Duncan over Dirk.
U.S. Virgin Islands.
Oh, we're not counting that?
Well, it's a territory of the United States, so no.
Okay, fine. But I probably would still put Hakeem over Dirk, personally.
Over Dirko?
Yeah, probably. 2 championships and how many Defensive Player of the Year awards?
Yeah, I think for me, I think Dirk's up there. I think Dirk's second. Obviously, Herb said we've talked about this numerous times, and I think I've leaned kind of with Isaiah. I think Hakeem still is number 1, just because not only is he winning MVPs and titles, but he was also winning Defensive Player of the Years. So it's hard. I think he's top. I think he's up there for blocks and stuff like that. But also, I think he's a little bit different player than obviously Jokic is. So it's kind of who you choose. But
And I think Dirk and Jokic are pretty good.
I honestly think
Like looking at both of them,
a better argument would be, because this is how it's going to play out in a couple years for best international player of all time. It's going to be Giannis or Jokic. It's going to come down to those two. I think that's a better discussion to have, because that's fucking close in my opinion. Like, they have a very eerily similar stat sheet and accolades to this point.
how many MVPs does Giannis have? One,
two.
Yeah.
My bad, Giannis. No disrespect, Giannis.
Giannis also has
Giannis, if you're listening,
as well.
My bad.
I think he has one Defensive Player of the Year, and he's been in the running and some others. Mm-hmm. I think he made the first team All Defense 4 or 5 times probably. So it's kind of like pick your butter there on but yeah.
Pick your what?
I don't know. I was trying to think of something, but
no. Rewind that thing real quick.
Do you value with Giannis and Jokic? It's kind of like neck and neck. It's going to see interesting who comes out on top.
Because the one thing,
especially the Bucks situation right now,
Jokic truthers would say is he's a better passer than Giannis, which I agree with. But I don't think
he's probably a better shooter too.
He's a better shooter.
But I don't think the gap passing wise is as large as they would like to make you believe it is.
I think Jokic might go down as one of the best big man passers in history,
without a doubt. But I'm saying Giannis, he can play make with the best of them, especially for a dude his size.
The problem with Giannis is for the first 4 or 5 years of his career, he just fucking dribbled down the court or dribbled and just dunked over
him with the 5 slamma jamma and said, "Fuck it, that's good enough."
He still does that.
No shot. He had no shot. I mean, that's his.
At least he has a jumper now, for God's sakes.
Yeah, he got a little bit of a jumper, but
one.
It's not Jokic. Yeah.
Okay.
He's also built like a Greek god, and Jokic is built like a plumber. A 7-foot plumber, but a plumber nonetheless.
Yeah.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're spot on, actually, unfortunately.
Hey, again, no disrespect to either guy. Incredible athletes. I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah. Okay, so let's finish up NBA news. Obviously, I would say the next biggest storyline, the New York Knicks finally find their head coach, hiring Mike Brown to lead the team. In addition to that, reports coming out of New York stating that Rick Brunson has been demoted from associate head coach. So he's getting bumped down the bench. But yeah, I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Does it move the needle for you guys? You like it? Could care less?
I think for me, you can go ahead or I can take it. I think for me, I dove into this the other day because I was like, let me see what Mike Brown's all about. I remember him coaching, obviously, the Cavaliers back when and things like that. So we're looking at a 2-time Coach of the Year. He has some championships as an assistant coach in the late 2010s. But as far as head coach playoff history, it's not very good. I think he made it to the Eastern Conference Finals once.
Okay, let's put some context onto that, though. Some of those Cleveland teams that he was bringing to the playoffs were...
Yeah, but I mean, you took over for Phil Jackson, right? You took over for Phil Jackson for the Lakers. You go to the Cavaliers to replace Byron Scott. I mean, I'm not out on him. I think, if his time with Steve Kerr has helped him at all, I'm not completely out on him. I'm out on the Knicks, man, because I looked at their recent coaching history, and they give these guys 1-2 years. And in the last 15, 20 years, Thibodeau might have been their most successful coach.
I don't think that's a question.
And it's like...
There's probably some stowaways that would tell you Mike D'Antoni, but...
How many Western or Eastern Conference Finals did he take them to?
No, I get it. I'm just saying there's probably a contingent of Knicks fans that throw his name in that.
To wrap it up for me, I'm not out on Mike Brown. It just doesn't move the needle for me. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't, I wish him well. I Hope he does well with them over there in the Eastern Conference. But I don't think. I will say this. I don't think he was their first choice
No,
because
he was their
definitely not.
ninth.
Yeah.
there was rumors,
Maybe 10.
I'm pretty sure they
That-
asked half of the league if they could interview their
Yeah.
coaches, and they got turned away every single time, rightfully so.
So whoever his plan was in that war room, that when they were like, "All right, we're gonna do it. This is our top 10." They should have cleared. Can we because Isaiah's right. They did try to interview coaches that are already coaching, and those teams were like, "Nah, like no."
Get the fuck out of here.
So it's like their plan. Maybe they had a plan and the execution fell off, but I don't know, man. It's the Knicks.
I'm going to say this. We do need to go back because I think we all gave some predictions on who we thought the next coach was going to be. I don't know that any of us had Mike Brown.
Not one of us. I guarantee that.
So we're going to have to go back and take a look at that. As for Mike Brown as a New York Knicks head coach, at a time in the NBA, Mike Brown was a name. I think he's a good basketball coach. I don't think he's a head basketball coach in the NBA anymore. I don't. It's certainly not an upgrade.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. I will say I will give Mike Brown the credit. Let's not discount the fact that he did somehow bring the Sacramento Kings to the playoffs.
No doubt. I don't think his time in the NBA is now. I think it was then. I don't think it's now.
If anything,
but I tell you what.
If anything, his ceiling is going to be just as high as Thibodeau's. Eastern Conference Final at best, probably.
And that. I think in reality, that's a far stretch for them.
I mean, the East
is
so bad. Going to be so bad this season.
You guys keep saying that. I just don't see it yet. But
the East is.
We're not going to get into this discussion again. Okay.
I will say, if Mike Brown wanted to be a coach anywhere, being in the East is going to help him more than it hurts him because the East is fucking atrocious.
Yes.
So,
not atrocious, but yes, I agree with you there.
Bad.
But
God, you guys have such a hard on for the Western Conference. Yes.
I mean, it's been that way for 20-something years. Anyway, Thibodeau was pushing 70, if I'm wrong, right? Mike Brown, I think, is in his early 50s. Not that matters at all. But from a player perspective, I don't know if getting, Brunson's dad out of there, maybe Mike Brown approaches the game a little bit differently than Thibodeau. Maybe it relates to the players a little bit more. I'm not quite sure. But good luck up there, buddy.
Okay, can we also talk real fast how much bullshit it is that Rick Brunson has a job as an assistant coach for the New York Knicks?
Well, yes. I mean, there's nepotism throughout the league, left, right, and center.
That is egregious nepotism, though.
Well, yes. The Knicks are aware of that. Everybody's aware of that. It's just a thing that everybody's come to grips on reality. I'm glad that they demoted him.
He's literally, now that he's been demoted, he's essentially, his job is to be his son's biggest cheerleader on the bench.
Hey, somebody got to do it.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, I will say this about the Knicks, though. Like, the Mike Brown thing, whatever. They signed Jordan Clarkson, and then, I'm going to butcher this, Yabusele? The Frenchman. Just wanted to throw that out there. Great signings. I really, really like those signings. Good for the Knicks. Good depth.
And I will say, because I have a Knicks fan that I talked to a decent amount, he said that Mike Brown's already come out and said they are going to be playing a two-man big lineup. So that means Mitchell Robinson and Cat starting together, which means most likely Josh Hart coming off the bench. So I'm glad that he's already coming in, and it's like, we're making changes. Like, this needs to happen. Whether or not...
You know who they might go get? And this is a Knicks move. Kevin Love's looking at a buyout out of the Jazz and says he wants to play for a contender.
He's going to go wherever LeBron is, bro.
Kevin Love is still playing?
Yeah, brother.
Yeah. He's a dog, bro.
Always been, always has been.
He's a Minnesota legend.
He's got to be like 40 now, right?
I mean, he's had a full gray head of hair since he was 25.
Hey, he played 10 minutes a game, 11 minutes a game last year in 23 games, bro. Put some respect on his name. He's 37.
36.
But to your point, I do want to, before we move on, I'm the opposite on the Knicks moves. I mean, Jordan Clarkson is fine and dandy. For me, I like Clarkson, actually, especially as a bench player coming off the bench. But you see all these other teams making moves right and left, and that's your move to get better. I don't know if the Jordan Clarkson was the missing piece on why you didn't, advance further last year.
And it seems kind of redundant with McBride already being there. I feel like McBride, obviously not nearly as good of a scorer, but same general player, right? Like, he's more of a scoring guard, right? Like, they still have a hole at backup point guard who's going to play point when Brunson's not out there.
Clarkson.
I'm not putting Clarkson at
will
the
be.
point. That sounds awful.
I think that's what he'll probably run, right?
100% that's what he's going to run.
Yeah. He's like 6'2", 6'3". He's gonna run the point for the backup, I think, unless Miles McBride beats him out, which is very possible.
He's a shooting guard through and through.
But if Josh Hart's your starter, we're already having issues, bro. I like Josh Hart. I think he's a good
he's going to come up
player for a second team.
Mitch Robinson starting now. And that
if that's how they do it.
I still think, honestly, the Knicks have a trade up their sleeve. I don't think they're rolling out trading either Hart, Bridges, or OG before the start of the season. I think one of them gets dealt.
Wow.
So
not only are we going to fire our head coach, but we're going to rip a cog out of the machine.
Yes.
Hey, it all started when they let Hartenstein walk, bro.
Hey, how much?
Mm-hmm. Preach on that.
How much?
Hey, preach on that, brother.
You got to remember, Tibbs isn't there, so Josh Hart immediately loses all his value.
What are you talking about? He's 6'4" and likes to guard 7-footers. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm just saying, Tibbs, I think, gave him a lot longer of a leash than he got in his previous stops around the league.
Oh, you're talking about the Pelicans, huh?
Pelicans, the Trailblazers, Lakers. He kind of...
Wow. And hey, at the time he was at all of those, what fantastically run organizations those were. Stop that.
We could say the same thing about the Knicks.
Made it to the
I'm not
Eastern
going to let you
Conference
sit
Finals.
here and say that Josh Hart should be a starter in the NBA.
No, he should not be.
When did I say that?
But that's kind of where we're heading at. He shouldn't be, and you're like, let's act like those aren't good spots.
No.
I think he's a good backup, sure, but not.
I agree. I was being sarcastic when I said he's 6'4" and likes to guard. Come on now. No, if Josh,
you're not wrong though. He does guard bigger guys, but it's like to an
You
extent.
put Josh Hart next to Garrett Sturtz, I wouldn't be able to tell a difference, honestly.
Well,
shout out Garrett. Hope you're listening out there somewhere.
Does the all-time leading rebounder at Drake University follow the pod?
Darnell Brody, I don't believe follows. But Garrett Sturtz, the second all-time leading rebounder in Drake history, for sure does not follow.
For sure does not.
No, he doesn't.
Hey, thanks, Sturtsy.
Wrap up NBA news. Rob is probably salivating at the thought of this report coming out, but it seems like the Phoenix Suns and Bradley Beal are working towards an amicable divorce, aka buyout, here in the next couple of days, weeks, most likely before the start of next season. And to my surprise, seems like he has a pretty sizable market. He pretty much has the pick of his litter wherever he wants to go, essentially. So Rob,
doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Rob, give me your thoughts. Is that what you're hoping for? I think it is, but what's like the best outcome from a Suns fan?
Yeah, for right now, man, I think for one, I think sometimes players don't really gel with the situation that you're in, and it could have been the coaching and things like that. But whenever Bradley Beal was on the court, when he was on the court, it just didn't. He's not the Bradley Beal of the Wizards. So there's pros and cons to it. When I look at it, again, it's all reports and speculation. I think it's 110 buyout or something like that.
Is that if they waive it?
There's something where they can waive and stretch it or something like that. So they can stretch it up to 5-6 years, and that way it doesn't hurt them that much, which it's going to be one of the biggest contracts, if not the biggest contract that is. Because obviously we've talked about Lillard, but
because isn't this his last year of his deal at like 45-50 mil or something?
I think he has 2 or 3 years left.
Beal has 53.6 due this year, 57.1 due next year.
Yeah.
And next year's a player option.
But I did see if they just go the straight buyout, Beal may be willing to accept less than the full value that's remaining on his contract to go somewhere else. It
Hey,
sounded
here's
like
$90 million. Take
I don't
care.
even know if it was that much, to be honest with you. I don't know what the amount being tossed around was, but it wasn't the full 111 or whatever that's left.
Yeah, I think it'd be a clean. I'm hoping. I don't want him to stay and be disgruntled. If he wants to move on and we want to move on, then let's do it. Let's deal with whatever the hit is that we're going to take the next few years, and let's learn from our mistakes. Right? Let's. If anything in the league the last few years is the Damian Lillard, which I don't think he should have been obviously let go, but Bradley Beal, our owner and GM. Obviously, we have a new GM this year, but our owner came in guns blazing, wanted to sign anybody and everybody that was somebody. Um, and this is kind of the aftermath. And now we got to clean up the pieces. So if he's going to be there and be great, sure, stay. I mean, if we're paying the money either way, great. But if he wants to move on and we want to move on and it can be clean, I'm fine with that as well. So
I would say if there was one dude to mentor Jalen Green, if you guys are keeping him, which it seems like you guys are at this point, I feel like it would be Bradley Beal. I feel like Jalen Green is kind of a Bradley Beal light at this point, isn't he? Just not as good of a shooter, like consistent shooter at this point.
yeah, I mean, Bradley Beal was just such a dominant scorer for so many years with the Wizards. I agree too. I think if he did choose to stay and he's happy there, if he's there and just shows up, let's move on. But if he's there and he's mentoring, he knows his role. Let's say he realizes that maybe Beal's going to run the second group and Jalen gets a starter or whatever the case is. If he can make that work, sure, I'm cool with that. I think he'd be a great mentor. But I'm not seeing anything like in the offseason with Booker and Beal hanging out. I've never seen Beal and, when KD was there, them hanging out. Like, I don't know if Beal has wanted to be there. I've never got that vibe. So I have no idea.
Herb, anything you
Gooder?
want to add to
Yeah.
that?
I'm interested because I think that buyout is going to happen. If it's at a great discount, fantastic. Interested to see where he goes. I'm going to make an early don't quote me take. If the Bucks can figure out the cap situation, Milwaukee. Calling that now.
Just go add another wing to that roster.
Well, I mean, if Gary Trent Jr. is your starting shooting guard, I think you're in a lot of trouble. So that's where they're at.
No, I'm just saying because they re-signed Prince, they re-signed Gary Trent.
Gary Trent's a projected starter right now.
Yes.
Bradley Beal. They still don't have a point guard, technically. They got AJ Green there still.
Which, I mean, if I tell you what, Beal does bring the ball up more often than not.
Yeah.
If we're being honest. So fuck it. But the problem is their cap situation and the payout to Dame and all that. So I don't know if they're going to be able to, but if they can figure it out, that's my guess.
I saw the two teams that I've seen the most linked to them, LA Clippers, which that fit next to Harden, I don't love.
Where overpaid prima donnas go to die.
I just don't like that. And then the other one was Miami, which I like a little bit more. Move Hero over to more of a full-time point guard. Slot him next to Ware and Bam, potentially.
But does that feel like Jimmy Butler 2.0 loading?
Beal's never been as big of a
premium. No, not that bad. But like the potential that could turn into that with the contract conversations.
I feel like Beal's always kind of kept things to himself for the most part. So even if he was disgruntled, it's going to stay in-house.
Yeah. If I were to guess, I would think if Beal has an option to choose where to go, I think he's going to want to go to a contender. Are we wrong in that? And as of right now, I don't see the Heat. Obviously, it is the East, but a dark horse I have been seeing is, which Isaiah, you can tell us how you feel on it, but
no, if you say,
I have been seeing the Timberwolves, bro.
Fuck off. Fuck right off. Please.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Hey, might have.
Mike Conley's 48 years old.
Dude, I'm not signing Bradley Beal to be a point guard. I'm signing Bradley Beal to be a shot maker, 3-point maker on the wing. So if we're signing him with the intention of being a backup point guard or a point guard in general, get the fuck out of here.
So why not just move Ant to point? Just put the ball in his hand.
He does most of the time, honestly. But I'd rather.
Well, and Bradley Beal slots in it to 2. Hey,
no, I'd rather
get your jersey, baby.
It sounds like it's meant to be.
Dillingham get some run. Him, Dillingham, and Terrence Shannon Jr. Didn't butcher it that time. I'd rather give them minutes over Beal personally, unless Beal's willing to take like the vet minimum or something,
No chance he's willing to take a minimum.
I mean,
well, you got to think he's going to be making the Suns money.
Yeah, if he's getting the buyout money from the Suns, what's it matter?
If a team tosses him, hey, like if a team's in a win now mode and they toss him, they're like, hey, we can get you, like what we can make work is $10 million or less. You're already making, $50 million over there. I think it makes sense, and you get a chance to go get a ring. Agreed. But go ahead and get your Timberwolves Beal jerseys now.
Oh, God. Hey, he'll help you out with rebounds. He gets 3 a game.
That makes my skin crawl. Now that you mention, I have not heard that to this point. I hate that.
Before we do move on from the NBA, boys, I do want to give a shout out. I got a little love for Paulo down there in the Magic. That dude signed a max deal down there.
Well deserved.
Former Rookie of the Year. I think he just wrapped up his 3rd year. I like seeing the Magic be successful, and we've talked about that. But I think he's locked in, and he has locked in until 2030 or something like that. He's going to be getting almost $50 million a year. So shout out Paulo. Shout out that deal. I agree. I think it's well deserved. Hopefully the Magic do right by him and keep adding pieces and let that guy flourish. But I have no qualms with Bonchero down there.
Hopefully the NBA starts giving that kid his flowers a little more and putting him on TV more, because that kid deserves to have a face on a poster in this league.
That brings us back to the conversation we had in the group chat earlier or last week, where I was seeing on social media that there is a debate going on out there, saying there's some people out there arguing they would rather start a franchise with Jalen Williams from the Thunder over Paulo.
No, those
people are dumb.
It's so fucking ridiculous. It's such a stupid thing to say. No disrespect to Jalen Williams. It's such a fucking stupid thing to say. Oh my God, that's such a bad take.
Okay, I'm glad we're all in agreement. Rob, I don't remember getting your feedback on that when we were talking about it, so I'm glad you're on the same page.
I don't even think it's deserving of a response, to be honest with you.
In fairness, Jalen Williams Jalen Williams has an all-NBA team and Paulo doesn't.
He's a dog, but Paulo's Paulo, baby.
Yeah, I agree. Any other NBA news that we skipped over, missed, want to touch on?
It's gone quiet on the Western Front, boys. I think after that first night or two of Sham's Twitter trying to went quiet, but
no summer league.
I think we're just trying to patiently wait.
You want to throw out there, Rob?
We've been watching, or what was the guy that went off last night? I forgot.
Sensabaugh.
Yeah.
Huh?
Sensabaugh. Sensabaugh. I think is how you spell it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ohio State boy.
I didn't come prepared with things, but yeah, the summer league's been summer leaguing. Ace Bailey kind of had a good game or two.
VJ Edgecombe is fitting in perfectly with Philadelphia. He's already injured with being held out of games, so he's fitting in perfectly.
You're kidding.
Yeah, thumb injury.
I hadn't heard that yet.
Thumb injuries.
Dude, I was just about to sing his praises for that yak he gave him in game 1 over the middle when he went coast to coast and just absolutely mashed potatoes on the guy.
Yeah, with the summer league, I like watching them, especially if it's my team. But I like seeing those flashes of what Herb just talked about, flashes of a guy that you're not watching really cohesion, because if he makes a team, he's not going to be playing with these players on the team, right? It's 2 to 3 of these summer league rosters are going to make the team, 2 or 3 players out of the roster. So I'm not really looking at a cohesion standpoint. I'm looking at that one-on-one. Are they special? Are they showing those flashes? And that's kind of what you're looking for.
Hey, with the Ace Bailey thing, okay, did you watch it? Did you see it? I watched probably a good, 70% of that game, because I've talked shit on Ace Bailey, all right? So I'm going to follow up on Ace Bailey, all right? He ain't going to be doing that shit in the NBA. Not against Wemby and Steven Adams. It's just not going to happen. Like, these defensive dudes are going to have a field day with that guy. He ain't going to be yakking them off the 2 foot right at the rack in the NBA. It's not going to happen. Maybe I'll eat my words. Probably not, though.
No.
Yeah, I think in his first 2 games he's shown why they drafted him, right? I think he's shooting really well too. I'm not out on Ace Bailey. Obviously, he's super young, and we'll see. But we'll see what happens up there in Utah, bro. Bring back the old jerseys, man. That's what we need. It's still not the logo of old. When I watched that 1998 NBA Finals the other day, those Jazz jerseys are so fucking electric, bro.
There's nothing quite like getting a text from this group about 7:30 at night. Hey, found an HD version of the '98 NBA Finals. I'm starting with
6, baby.
Dude, it was later than that. It was like 9:15 because I was at the gym.
I was locked in, bro.
I was
watching borderline 4K.
I was concerned when you originally texted us that you had started with game 1 at some point during the day, and you were just working through the finals.
I jumped in with the game with Pippen went out with his back injury, and then Jordan just took him to Pound Town for 45 points to win the finals.
Hey, okay, Michael was him.
That good NBA talk, but let's change gears. We gotta talk MLB. They just released the All-Star teams, starters, reserves, and boy, do I have the floor for a minute or two?
It's all yours, big dog.
I am so fucking fed up with fan voting deciding the starters of the MLB All-Star game. That is so fucking ridiculous that you have a dude. Don't get me wrong. Javier Baez has had a good season. He's played well, honestly, way better than anybody expected with how he's played the last 2 seasons. There is no shot in fucking hell he should be starting in the outfield over Brian Buxton of the Twins. That is a mockery of the sport. I know in the NBA you have fan voting, but it makes up a percentage of it. So you take the leading fan votes or whatever, but then you still get the coaches and player votes that count, that are weighted in there too. Why the hell are we giving MLB fans complete say as to who the starters should be? I think it's just a complete mockery, and it's going to be one of those things that it's going to be, some of these players are going to get dinged down the line when it comes to their Hall of Fame presentation, because they won't have All-Star starter. It will just be, they'll have the All-Star on there, and I feel like it's kind of a slap in the face to some of these players where you just have some of these ho-hum dudes that, yes, they've had good seasons, but they don't deserve to be the starter. And that's my 2 cents.
Oh, I thought you were going to come out swinging.
That's it.
I was
you should be required to take an IQ test and go through an MLB glossary of the advanced stats. And if you can't name what OAA stands for now, or BAPID, you're not allowed to vote.
You shouldn't have a vote.
You shouldn't be allowed to vote. Get the fuck out. If you got these 50, 60-year-old motherfuckers, I'm sure, voting that still put all their value in a pitcher's win-loss record without looking at any other stats beyond that. Please, respectfully, get bent.
Yeah, I mean, and talking about who's starting versus who's off, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, but this is how fucked up this voting system is that Bobby Witt Jr., who is playing incredibly good baseball,
the only reason the Royals are...
He got in on an at-large. He got an at-large. They didn't even get him in there until they're like, oh, shit, yeah, Bobby, we got a spot for you. I think that's ridiculous. But, yeah, you were going to say he's the only thing that the Royals have going?
Yes, exactly.
Correct. Bobby Witt Jr. is an all-star. It shouldn't have even been a question. So, getting an at-large bid blows my mind for – and that's why, this all-star feels terrible.
I think for me, I mean Detroit. Shout out to Detroit fans for showing out. I think they had 3 or 4 starters. Obviously, I think they're the best team um
AL.
in the AL right now. Right, they all won almost 60 games. So I mean, that's the thing with fan voting, man. Just like with NFL, it's like sometimes you see somebody make the All-Star game, and it's just or the Pro Bowl, and it's just it doesn't make a lot of sense. I do see it, but you got to keep in mind most people that voting are voting for Javi Baez. Like there could be a Cubs fan that's voting for Javi Baez because of how much of a fan favorite he was, and they have no say in the NL. So they're like, "Well, I don't have anyone else to choose in the AL." Like there's so much that goes on to it, but I agree, it's not. There's also a fan favorite that's trying to take into consideration. I don't think it should decide the starters. I don't think that should be a thing, but I think it should have some play in the voting. But I think the fan favorite decides the starters, right?
Correct.
And the MLB is kind of how it goes.
Yep.
I do not agree with that. Obviously, it's a fans' game. I get all that, but I don't think that should be the case. I think whoever's the clear cut, vote wise should get it, whether it's from coaching, GMs, whoever all the voting goes into it. But Detroit showed out, and whoever voted for Baez showed out. I mean, there's some snubs too, right? Like
There's a lot more in the NL, I feel like,
Yes.
that we can touch on.
Yeah.
One point or another thing I wanted to say, the other thing that just grinds my gears is when multiple players from a dog shit team get named to the All-Star. Like the Oakland Athletics should not have 2 All-Stars. They're 37 and 55. They are 18 and a half games back in their own division. They do not deserve 2 All-Stars. Like, that's ridiculous. And no offense to the Nationals, they don't deserve 2. James Wood and Mackenzie Gore. Like, what? Like, that stuff infuriates me.
So you have to have a winning record to make the All-Star game? Is that what you're saying?
I feel like those players should be rewarded more. Usually the better players are on the better teams. Like I
But
know
like think about all the years Mike Trout made it, right? And you're saying like since the
but he
Angels
had
were
the stats
shit,
to
Mike
back it
Trout
up.
shouldn't
Like
make.
I think I'm saying it like Brent Rooker. I know that there's better DHs that could have been picked over Brent Rooker. Like there's no reason he should have been picked as the reserve DH for the AL. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I definitely get it.
So can I throw? Sorry, Isaiah. I'm definitely throwing your ass under the bus for that one.
What?
Because I disagree. Joe Mauer from your Minnesota Twins made the All-Star in 12 and 13, and those years the Twins finished 66 and 96 each year.
Yeah.
So,
but
shout out Joe
the
Mauer,
question
baby.
is, were there any other Twins named to those rosters? Because every team has to have a player named. So,
I mean, I'm betting that.
No, don't bet. Did they have another starter?
What am I get? What's the old boy's name? The big boy. Justin Morneau. Let's see.
No, I think that was when he was having his concussions. You said 2012 and 2013.
Yep. Yeah. 2012, 2013. Minnesota Twins finished surprisingly 4 out of 5 in the division in 13.
Yep, Mauer was the only one in 2012, 2013. He was the only one in 2013, so your point is invalid.
Okay. Fair enough. Originally, you said if you're on a losing team, you don't get an All-Star.
I know like losing team and it's your second All-Star, and it's a shoddy case at best, I guess. Brett Rooker was the example that I had top of mind. Like, I think there's better DHs that should have. Like, if Devers was still in Boston, he obviously would have probably been the pick there, but he's not.
I'm also not saying that Joe Mauer didn't deserve to be an All-Star. I want to make that very clear.
Honestly, probably in those 2 seasons, he was on the tail end of his career. He might not have deserved it, but they had nobody better to pick.
Yeah. They said, but Joe, right? It's got to be Joe. Yeah, he's already booked the hotel.
No, those were 2 good seasons for him. we were just dog shit. Okay, I want to do a blind resume test though. If we're talking about snubs, real fast. So this is for two pitchers from the AL. Blind resume. Player A, player B. You ready? Player A. They're both starting pitchers. Player A, 17 games started, 107 innings, 8-4 record, a 2.77 ERA, an ERA plus of 132, and a WAR of 2.4, compared to player B, who had 17 games started, 104 innings pitched, also 8-4, ERA of 2.76, ERA plus of 152, and a WAR of 3.9.
Can I get the K's?
The K's we got for the player A 104, player B 116.
Oof.
It's a no-brainer.
I'm out of this, bro.
That's a no-brainer.
I don't watch the fucking AL, so I'm out of this.
That's a no-brainer, right? It's player B.
Yeah.
Joe Ryan is player B, who was left off of the All-Star roster. Player A is a fellow by the name of Brian Wu, starting pitcher for the Seattle Mariners.
Yep. And that was one of those.
Shout out Big Number.
That was one of those question mark guys that got in there. Wow, Joe Ryan, good for you, dude.
That grinds my gears. But flipping gears over to the NL, this is where I feel like we have a bunch of snubs we can talk about. I think the biggest name to start off with. How does Juan Soto not make an All-Star team? He's second in the
because
league
because nobody in the league likes him right now, and that plays a huge role.
He's also leading the league in walks, so that helps that on-base percentage.
The whole Mets to Yankees to Mets, Mets to Yankees, like that. The media did a great job spoiling Juan Soto for everybody, but there's a lot of hate out there for Juan Soto. I'm not saying I'm one of them. I think he should have been an All-Star, but that's where that stems from. That's a political one.
Okay, Herb, I'm going to give you the floor because I know, or I'll give you and Rob, I forgot you're both Cubs fans, the floor because I know that there's a couple of Cubbies that were snubbed from these rosters that I don't even agree with.
Rob, you want me to go first?
Kick it off, big dog.
Yeah. So, congrats to PCA. Congrats to Tucker on getting the start. Do I wish there were more Cubs in there? Yeah, I do. Am I fuming about it? No. The one that upsets me the most is Seiya. I think Seiya deserved to be in there in a big way. Would have loved to see Seiya on the home run derby. Michael Busch, I get the argument. I understand why he's not. But hey, dude, we got two starters. We're hot. We got two starters in the outfield for the NL. We should be elated. We should be happy with what we got.
Or to go back on Michael Busch, you're not as upset on that one. So the two dudes that were named over him, Freddie Freeman, Pete Alonso. Michael Busch has a higher WAR, higher OBP, higher slugging, higher OPS, higher OPS plus than both of them. And you're not that upset?
No, not. I'm not as upset. I'm more upset about Seiya not making it in. And I'm not saying Seiya needed to be starting, but to be on the team. No, I'm not as upset with the Michael Busch situation, mainly because Pete Alonso and Freddie Freeman. I don't know if you've ever seen them hit a baseball, but also they sell a shit ton of tickets and jerseys. So yeah, that's a little more political, and yeah, the stats would suggest. But that one, now if you told me some no name playing for the Diamondbacks, and it's just who gives a shit, then yeah, I'd be. Or truthfully, if you told me I don't even know who would really make me upset, but anyway, no, not super upset about the Michael Busch. Seiya should have got his flowers.
I think I'm there with Herb. I agree. This is how I look at it, and I think Herb had a point there at the end. Is when he mentioned Freeman and these other guys. I mean, they're household names around the league, and been playing on good teams. And I think that does play a role, whether it's the fan vote or just a general vote. But no one expected the Cubs to be where they're at right now. No one expected, we've had plenty of down years, since the late 2010s era. And no one expected him to be this good. So for Tucker and for PCA, which I watched PCA when he was with the Iowa Cubs, I mean, I'm glad those two made it. But I think I agree with Herb. Michael Bush, it's fine. I mean, I would have loved for him to make it, but us having two starters in there, I think that's best case scenario right now. I don't think it would be I think back in 2016 era when if I had to guess, I'm imagining we had Rizzo, Bryant, Baez, a bunch of dudes in there. I think that could be a case next year. I think it's a build up to that, if that makes sense as far as voting All-Stars go.
Don't forget Matthew Boyd also made it from the Cubs. So you guys got 3.
So it's like I'm happy where we're at. I'm not upset. I also like looking at the roster and not, some of these dudes that you wouldn't thought have made it, but maybe they had a really good year. I mean, it's good for them. I'm excited for the rest of the season, boys. Without a lot of sports going on, I mean, if I'm not watching 1998 NBA Finals, I'll be watching, the Cubs, and I'm probably going to be watching Big Dumper over there in Seattle. I'm just excited for the
Big Dumper,
season, baby. Yeah, Big Dumper's a dog.
I will say one of my
he loves the nickname
favorite
too.
things to do whenever the All-Star teams come out is just looking at it, and you will immediately be able to pick out a name or two where you're going to look back in 10, 15 years and be like, who made an All-Star game? Hunter Goodman made an All-Star game?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's going to floor some people in the future.
Yeah, probably.
It's also some of these positions are fucking. Let me get this in there before you go on. Sorry. Some of these positions are deep, bro. Like Mookie Betts.
Okay, Mookie Betts
and other household. I know, but other household names that kind of just get in. Some of these positions are so deep that you can't be surprised when somebody doesn't make it, I feel like. But Herb, go ahead.
I do want to I'm not super upset about the Cubs situation with snubs per se, but can I talk about the NL snubs?
Yeah.
The biggest one, and I think this is kind of an agreement on the NL side, was probably Trey Turner. I think Trey deserved to be there.
Leads the NL in hits.
Yeah, and I mean, he is still a defensive freak. Like, I know he slumped there in recent previous seasons, but the dude's a freak with the glove. He's hitting the ball. He should have got in. I'm gonna tell you the one, and Rob, this I don't know if truthfully I don't know if either one of you know this. Okay, Kodai Sanaga. Either one of you guys know the name?
Yeah, Cubs pitcher.
Nope.
Oh no, the Mets pitcher.
The Mets pitcher, Japanese pitcher for the Mets. Dude, 7-3, sub-2 ERA, and he's got a 1.47 ERA and 70 Ks. 7-3 in 13 outings. Dude, get that guy out there, man. I'm not saying let him start the game, but that's the biggest snub on the NL on my side. Because I've seen that guy pitch probably twice, and that dude's got some fucking stuff.
I think the reason he probably didn't make it, he was injured there for a bit, wasn't he?
Still got 13 starts.
No, I'm just saying that probably is being held against him a little bit. But I agree with you.
Hey, but Ronald Acuna gets to make it. And he's played less than half the season. You know,
fairness, that was fan voting, and he's also been playing out of his mind since he came back.
40 games.
I get what you're saying.
9 home runs in 40 games. You get to make an All-Star.
In 40 games, he almost has 2 WAR already in 40 games.
Yeah, and his average is like 330. I get it, but he's barely played this year. Again, though, he's a fucking name. He's a big old name. Isn't it in Atlanta? Yeah. That's some bullshit.
Like, if you were to prorate or Acuna's stats out to as many games as, like, Judge, who hasn't missed any time, he would be top probably 6 in the league in WAR, so I'm not going to get too upset about including him, especially being in Atlanta.
I do. I think you got to play more games. There should be a game limit, and there's not in the MLB.
I'll give you that one.
To add, I do want to, since we're talking about baseball, I saw this clip from the early 2000s, and it was the batting averages of players then compared to players now. And I think the clip showed that only 10 people, 10 or below, have above 300 batting average in the MLB. And it was basically saying how it's either, obviously, it could have been the steroid era, I think, kind of played a role in that too. But do you think it's a lot of these players like De La Cruz and other guys, they're striking out a lot too. So do you think the pitching is better? I'm going to remove the steroids from it, but do you think pitching is better, or do you think hitting has just gotten worse?
Do you know how many guys threw over 100 10 years ago? Not a lot. 15 years ago, maybe a handful of guys. 20 years ago, Randy, maybe Roger every now and again, and that was it. I think the fact that Paul Skeens averages like 99, I think that and with a curveball that'll twist you, it's the pitching, brother.
But then on top of that too, you also have, it's so much more specialized now pitching wise. Like you maybe face the starting pitcher twice in a given day, and then you're going through 2 to 3 different relievers. So you have 4 or 5 different pitchers that you're facing, all have different release points, all have their different pitches, right? Whereas back in the steroid era, or even further back than that, you had just workhorses who are going 7, 8 innings every single start. It didn't matter if they were getting fucking shelled, So by the time they get to that 6th, 7th, 8th inning in those games, they're not throwing as hard. Like they're throwing hard. Yes, they're an MLB pitcher still, but to say that they have their A+ stuff at the end of their start compared to the beginning of their start, it's just not, like, it doesn't hold up, right? So I think that plays into it. And then 2, I think it's just the coaching to hitters. Like launch angle has become such a principal thing that is taught to kids nowadays, where it's all about getting the ball into the air, right? It's none of that Derek Jeter slapping the ball opposite field, right through the second base and calling it good. Like that's why you really only have Luis Ariz and Jacob Wilson from the A's that are kind of that archetype where it's really just singles with them, right? If you get anything more than that, it's just extra on top. But these coaches, they're wanting kids to go aim for the gap, and that's why we're seeing guys with more of those true three outcome players in the MLB. But I think a lot of it goes to the pitching.
Well, yeah, and I think to the first part of your deal there, Isaiah, pitching has become also so situational.
Yeah.
And that has to go with the length of the starter. We're in the 6th. We don't really love our matchup with our starting guy against this cut of the lineup or the next cut, so we're going to bring in a reliever, and then we'll switch him out after another inning. If you went out there and Roger was on his stuff, Clemens, and they said, hey, Raj, Rocket, we're going to bring in the reliever. We like the matchup better. He'd tell you to go fuck yourself, send you back to the dugout with your tail between your legs, and then go strike the next 3 out. Like, there's not that mentality anymore. It is so situational, and it's playing chess with your matchups. I think that plays a huge role, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it also goes to show how great Aaron Judge is. And I know we talked about him last week, but that's the reason I thought about it, because I'm like, the pitching is crazy. And obviously, I agree with you guys. I think the pitching it's completely different than it was back 20 years ago. But Aaron Judge can still make it work. But it's like, is it he can make it work. He also strikes out a decent amount. I think he still has a 0.36 or 0.36 360 average, and you're like playing in more games than the second guy, and it's like the next guy down I think is 335.
We're gonna look back at what Judge has done these last 3 to 4 years. Like this stretch right now is otherworldly what he is doing. Like this is I don't even know okay, this might be recency bias, but was Trout even doing this when he had his run?
I mean, there was a run. They were talking. There was people saying Trout might go down as the best baseball player of all time. I mean, there was a weird run there for a few years. Obviously, the Angels not being successful in postseason play and stuff like that definitely affected it.
I think he might have been an all around better player, like with his defense and base stealing and everything. But if we're talking just pure hitters, I think Judge is far and away better than Trout was in his prime.
Yeah, as a pure hitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, Judge's fielding ability at his size is superb.
Especially
Trout
now
was
that he's back in right field.
Yeah, but Trout's range back in the day was don't hit it to the outfield. Don't hit it to the outfield. Hit a grounder up the middle.
Yeah. It's also a thing when you look at Judge, not only his average, but hitting 33 home runs, and you look at the top 24 people in batting average, none of those guys most of those guys are 6 to 10 home runs. You know, they're getting a double here, single there. They're getting on base. And it's like Judge is still swinging for the fences, obviously, and still hitting, almost a 400 batting average. It's just I don't watch a lot of Yankees baseball. I'm not a Yankees fan, but you got to give credit when it's due, man.
Okay,
Judge is very, very good at the game of baseball.
I don't want to be pessimistic here, though. Is anybody else kind of raising an eyebrow, though, that he is on his way to having his best season of his career at 33 years old?
At 33, I was going to make a comment about that. And that's what's going to hurt him in the all-time great conversation with the Yankees. Listen, Aaron Judge is on the Marlins. He's the greatest Marlins player of all time. But he's on the Yankees. It's tough. It's tough to put him up there at this point. And he's running out of time is a problem.
He started late too, right?
Yeah.
I think
he's 24, 25.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the Babe and Lou Gehrig and Mickey Mantle. Like we're talking about guys who I don't know what the minor league system was like back then, but I'm guessing they played baseball pretty quick.
In fairness, he's probably going to finish this season knocking on the door at 400 home runs already in his career, starting at 25.
Yeah, and that's incredible in less than 10 years. So I think we can all say that this may go down as one of the greatest hitting seasons of all time.
Yeah, you want me to say what his rest of season projections are?
Please. And then what I'm going to do is Barry Bonds is arguably the greatest run hitter of all time. Take the steroid, whatever, right? Barry mashed. So I've got Barry's best hitting season, which is 2004. So I'd like to do a little comparison.
Okay, you ready?
Hit me.
So he's projected for 214 hits, 38 doubles, 59 home runs, 133 RBIs, 117 walks, and that's assuming that he continues to hit 360 with an OPS of 1202. Or, I guess, OPS of 1.202.
1 point what?
1.202.
Okay, so Barry in 04, 1.422.
That was the year he had 73, right?
No. Home runs?
Oh, yeah.
No, he had 45 home runs, 27 doubles, 135 hits. He was hitting 362 with, give me a moment, 101 RBIs. Oh, and at the ripe old age of 39, snuck in 6 stolen bases on you.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so Aaron Judge, I think, is an all-timer. I just don't know if he's an all-time Yankee. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It's hard, too, because the Yankees have so many notable players.
The greatest players in baseball played there.
Mm-hmm. The thing about Judge, too, that I'd like to keep a lookout, he's just turned 33, so I don't know how long he's going to play. Obviously, Pujols was in and out till he was in his 40s, whatever. But he's at 350 home runs. At 33, he started late, which is unfortunate. But he's dinging 50 to 60 home runs a year. I mean, can he do that couple more years? I mean, what are we looking at as far as? I mean, I'm not saying he's going to get 762 or whatever Barry Bonds is, but are we talking, him moving top 10? I mean,
So
put it,
let's
top 10's
I'll put it
586.
this way. So if we're looking at WAR, which is wins above replacement, 10 is kind of like the benchmark of like, holy shit, like you had an extremely good season, like historic season. So Babe Ruth had 9 of those seasons. Willie Mays had 6. Barry Bonds only had 5.
Yeah, but they were going against plumbers, bro.
Barry Bonds only had 5. And then if we're talking modern, the only person in modern MLB history to have more than 2 is Mike Trout, who has 2, exactly 2. Aaron Judge already has 2, and if he doesn't get injured, knock on wood, he's easily going to bypass it again this year and be at 3. To put that in historical perspective.
See, I struggle with eras, bro, because like
wins above a replacement is supposed to take into account like the current environment of the league.
For sure, but Babe Ruth looked like a dude you see at the bar. Like, I get it, but that dude,
put some respect on the Babe.
That dude people were pitching 80 miles an hour, and he was just fucking digging them.
Yeah, and his bat weighed 50 ounces. I mean, he had to get that thing around, bro. So Rob, you said he's averaging right around what? You said about 50, 60 a year?
To the point, he's at 350, and obviously he hit 62, I think, last year? I mean, I'm not saying I think he's going to keep hitting 50, 60 home runs a year. But just turned 33.
If he hit 35
you're at 348
until he was 40, that's another 210
home
runs.
Yeah. So we're looking at 560.
He's going to have to average about 47 home runs a season for the next 7 years to catch Babe Ruth on the all-time home run list.
Well, that was my point. I didn't say he was going to. I said top 10, which top 10's 586.
Which he's top 10 on. In terms of Yankee, he's top 10 in home runs for Yankees already.
Yeah,
I think all time he definitely has a chance to get top 10.
He's also
shout out Aaron Judge.
He's going to pass A-Rod in the Yankees home run here this season.
That's fine. I don't think of A-Rod as a Yankee.
I
think of him.
You think of him as a Ranger?
Mariner.
Were you breathing? Were you alive?
I would say Mariner.
Were you alive when he was a Mariner?
Over the Yankees. He wasn't that good when he was with the Yankees. Outside of that one MVP season he had.
Oh yeah, he was dog shit, except for the MVP
he was
and all
dog
that.
Shit. I just don't think he was that good with the Yankees. I think of him like Alex Rodriguez, his heyday, Texas Rangers. He was a dog for Texas.
He's a Ranger for 3 fucking years.
Dog.
He was very good with the Yankees, though, brother.
I might just be discounting him a little bit, but I don't know.
I think people
end
do.
Of his career with the Yankees is putting a bad taste in my mouth.
Or the steroids.
Isaiah, I don't even know that you weren't conscious when he was a Mariner. I'll tell you that much. You may have been breathing. You weren't conscious.
You were shitting in your diaper, brother.
Yep, you were.
At 8.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
At 8, he said.
Dude, you are vastly overestimating how old I am. I was born in 96.
Yeah.
Probably played there till 2000, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
You became a Yankee in 03, 04.
So I was born in 90, and I don't think of him as a Mariner, obviously, but I think of him, obviously, Rangers into the Yankees.
That's where I'm at.
Okay, guys. I want to go on Paul Skeen's watch real quick. I hope you guys did not look this up like I told you to.
I didn't look at anything.
I did not.
Thank God. Okay. So, because this was mind-boggling to me.
Take a breath.
This was mind-boggling to me when I saw this. So, I'm going to give you his game logs from his last start, which was on Sunday, to the start of June. So, essentially a month. And you guys can predict what his win-loss record was at the end of it. Okay? So, I'll go most recent to oldest. Most recent, 5 innings, 5 hits, 0 errors, 10 Ks. Next one, 5 innings, 5 hits, 0 earned, 5 Ks. Next one. 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 errors, 4 Ks. Next one. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 errors, 9 Ks. Next one. 5 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned, 5 Ks. Next one. 7 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned, 7 Ks. And last one. 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 error, 8K. So, before you guys answer what you think his win-loss was, to put that in perspective, that's 7 starts. Across those 7 starts, he gave up 7 runs, 4 of which came in a singular game. What do you think his win-loss record was?
Can I ask a question first?
Yeah, please.
Can Paul Skeens not pitch more than 5 innings?
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Is he on a pitch count we don't know about?
No. If I am
Is there
not
something
mistaken-
wrong with him?
No, if I'm not mistaken, though, those games.
I think that does skew the numbers
I
up,
think
though. Because if you're pitching late in the 6th inning and you're giving up 3 runs there, that definitely changes things.
All right, listen.
Sorry, go.
If what you're telling me is true, with that many errors,
Like those
2 and 4?
earned runs. Those are earned runs.
At least it errors.
Earned runs. Sorry, that's my clarification.
Well, that
So he's
just
given up
skews
7.
everything.
He's given up 7 earned runs. So runs that
Okay.
he is
Over 7
responsible
starts.
that he is responsible for, over 7 starts, and 4 of those were in a single game.
Yeah, 2 and 3, 2 and 4, 2 and 4.
There's 7 games, brother.
So hold on. No. So
No, that's fine because you get no decision, so it actually does work. Actually does work.
I'm sorry. Hold on. No. Hold on. Okay, because you laughed so fucking hard about it. Okay.
Hey, I
Are you?
myself.
Oh no. Are you guys unaware that relief pitchers and closing pitchers and middle relievers can also earn wins and losses as opposed to the starting pitcher? Are you guys aware of that, or am I dealing with casuals?
Okay, let's get back to the topic at point.
Well, no, you guys had a good little laugh about that right there.
It took me a second.
So
But he's only pitching 4 innings, bro.
He had 1 start of 4 innings.
The rest were probably 5. I'd
3,
imagine.
5,
2 and 4.
1 and 6.
in 7 games. I'm betting he was 2 and 4.
Okay.
I'm going 3 and 4.
He was 0 and 2.
Hold that, Rob. Hold that for me right there, would you?
So over the course of 7 games where he gave up 7 earned runs, he went 0 and 2. That includes that last game that I stated where he went 8 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run with 8 Ks. He lost that game.
That's brutal. Dude, trade him. Do right by that. That's awful. That's awful.
The start before that, 7 2/3, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 7K. No decision.
Yikes.
That is why I go back to the comment I made earlier in the pod. If you are a fan that puts any sort of stock in a pitcher's win-loss, you don't know ball. You just plain and simple do not know ball. And that's all I got to say. So I might continue to do this with Paul Skeens because it's honestly just absurd what he is doing. And the fact that he's having to do it in Pittsburgh is just devastating.
On a team that is 16 games under 500. Sorry, Rob.
I was going to say, I thought the Pirates went on a little run there for a second. I mean, obviously still 16 games back, but I thought Pittsburgh went on a little run there where they were scoring runs and doing the damn thing, but evidently not, huh?
July
It might have been,
and late June have been bad.
What's Steen's win-loss on the year?
4 and 7.
Hell yeah.
And the unfortunate part is you can't win a Cy Young with that type of record.
Oh, he definitely can. He definitely can.
I don't see a world where they're going to give a losing
It's
record
like
pitcher.
when
Has it happened
Felix
before? I
remained-
might be
yeah,
talking on my ass here.
like Felix Hernandez won it in Seattle when they were kind of dog shit.
But did he have a losing record?
If not, it was like 500. Let me pull it up real fast. Also, it's so disrespectful. I pull up Felix Hernandez and it shows me a picture of him in a Orioles uniform. How disrespectful.
Okay. That's
he was the year he won Cy Young. He was 13-12,
winning record.
barely.
Horseshoes and hand grenades, bud.
And in that year, he had a WAR of 7.2. Paul Skeens already has a WAR of 4.8.
Okay.
Just to throw that out there.
Trade them already. Cubs, make the call.
Literally. Okay. I don't have anything else baseball related unless you guys do.
I do want to add that the Cubs banged 3 homers off Paul Skeens, baby.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it, baby.
I remember that game, bro. I was like,
do not let this fog your memory that the last time Paul Skeens pitched against you guys, he went 5 scoreless.
all right, but
3 home runs.
we hit 3 bangers off Paul Skeens, baby.
Bang, bang, ski, ski.
That's correct. Of the 5 home runs he has given up this season, 3 of them are to the Cubs.
Hell yeah.
Goddamn right.
We also took the Cardinals
to pound.
Cardinals
Oh
to
my
pound town
God.
this last week.
Oh my God. I don't know if we're going to be let back in the state of Missouri.
8 home runs was it, right?
Clobbered it.
We asked the manager if he wanted to come up and hit a fucking Joey Yard. That's how pleased
he was taking batting cage,
way,
right?
huh?
He was taking the batting cage reps in the bat, getting ready.
Okay. Herb, I'm going to hand it over to you. You've been talking up this segment you wanted to bring up in the show. You haven't given
It's a
us
hypothetical.
any forewarning. Haven't given us any forewarning as to what it is. So the floor is yours to present.
Thank you. So last week, I made a monumental error on this podcast not to bring up one of the greatest American sporting events that was slated for last week on Friday. Okay, and that is the Nathan's hot dog eating contest in Coney Island, the one and only, baby. Don't shake your head, Rob. We love the hot dog eating contest. You know why? Because Joey Chestnut made his return. Okay, Joey wins. That's not what this is about. Okay, Joey wins.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a question going around the internet, and it's really been permeating my workplace as of late, with me being the vehicle of asking everybody because I'm real curious.
Yep.
You guys are familiar with Usain Bolt, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Joey Chestnut and Usain Bolt, both healthy but at their current age, lined up to run a 100-meter dash, and at the end of that 100-meter dash had to consume 1 full hot dog, dry, bun and dog, who wins?
Can we move the hypothetical of eating the hot dog first and then running?
So that's a part of this. That's all part of this. As it sits, we'll talk all about it, Isaiah. This is going to be a fun one. As it sits right now, I want to hear your thoughts on this whole matter.
Oh, I already know this is easy for me. Rob, I don't know if you want to go off. This is super easy for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for me. I'm going Usain Bolt.
Oh, what? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Dude,
Nope.
An average
Going with an
average
athlete.
human. So Usain Bolt can run a 100-meter dash in.
He said dry, no water, so
Listen.
he can't dip the bun and everything else.
Usain Bolt can
Go
run
on.
a 100-meter dash in 10 seconds? 10.5.
9.58. He set the world record 16 years ago. Think about that, though.
So let's say it's 10.511 now, right? For an average human, it is going to take him a dry hot dog, I would say at least 45 seconds to a minute if you're really trying.
No.
No.
I think you're off on that one, but I agree with
Are
you.
you talking like fully chewed, swallowed, and everything?
Yes. But you don't have to chew it to fucking
No,
completion,
yep,
just to get it down.
Swallow the whole thing.
Yeah.
It is
Like-
chewed, swallowed. First bite
Okay,
all
so-
the way to in your
How long
stomach.
how do you think that would take? 30, 45 seconds?
So you want me to jump in here because listen, fellas.
I'm still trying to present. Like, so
I put it well. Mine goes with you because I got curious. All right.
okay.
For everybody who doesn't know me, I'm a large fella. Okay, I love me a hot dog. So what did I do? I sat down and because I needed to know the answer. I sat down and ate a singular hot dog.
Oh, okay. This helps my argument. Let's hear it. How long did it take? Were you trying to eat it
20
as fast as you could?
Oh, I was locked in.
Okay.
28.3 seconds.
Okay.
And it was a fight.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fight. It was a 2-biter, and it was a fight. Most of my time was spent chewing.
See, Usain Bolt is definitely a 3-biter. There's no way he isn't. So
okay, so that's a number for you.
Yeah, so his time would be I would say at least 45 seconds. Joey Chestnut can eat a hot dog in 5 seconds. I have to think that he could run a 100-meter dash within 40 seconds. I would hope.
All right, Rob.
I feel like it's not close at all. I feel like
Rob,
he's winning by 10 seconds.
You're in the Usain Bolt, and then I'm going to give you what my scientific research has yielded. All right.
Yeah. So for me, I think I'm going Usain just because I'm going with an athlete.
Whoa,
but I do have some things to back it up. We've already talked about this.
That back.
We've already talked
Joey
about
Chestnut
this.
is an athlete.
Joey Chestnut might be one of the top 5 greatest athletes of all time, actually.
American, maybe.
All right.
American.
I might walk off this podcast.
People are saying they're putting his name up there
People.
with Michael Phelps, Tiger Woods, and Usain Bolt as greatest athletes of all time.
So you're taking the Olympic athlete. Got it.
So let's look at it. Joey Chestnut is what, 250 maybe, 6 foot 250.
No way he's 250. Really?
He's a thick boy.
He's got to be, right?
He's fit though. He's fit.
Yeah. I don't know about all that, but
it's not like he weighs 400 pounds.
The only thing I looked up was, let's say Bolt is right around 10 seconds, and I think on Chestnut's record-breaking day, the average time for him to finish a hot dog was, I think, 7 point something seconds, so 8 seconds. But then the question is, how long does it take Joey to run 100 meters?
I think it would be about 20 seconds.
It is definitely more than 20 fucking seconds.
25, double what Usain Bolt did?
So you ready? Because I sat down. I had to know.
No,
I'm gonna hit you with real numbers here. Okay.
I'm trying to think. So I can run a mile, which is 400 meters, in less than 8 minutes. Let's say 7.5 on a good day. Divide that by 4. That's a little over a minute. Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot more than you think.
So,
and I don't know if Joey Chestnut's running an 8-minute mile.
Well, you're also hold on. You're also talking about 2 different races there. Okay. You are not running.
No, but he's breaking it down as they get as 100 meters.
Correct, but you're not running 100 meters within a mile the same way you're running 100 meters in a 100-meter race.
I'm just trying to get an estimate of how long it would take. That's all.
So, here are the numbers. Okay. According to AI and a government source that I got linked to. Okay. The average human being can run a 100-meter sprint, according to this, at 15 to 18 seconds. Now, I think rounding up to 20 is a fair number. Okay?
I would even give him 25.
So, this year at Nathan's hot dog eating contest, Joey averaged 1 dog per 8.5 seconds. Okay? Now, that's in the middle. You're on number 40. You're going to start to slow down. Okay? But we'll use that figure as Joey's 1 dog number. So if that's right, Joey's finishing this thing in 28.5. Okay? So if we take Usain Bolt 11, okay, and 28 seconds that I took to eat a dog, maybe he gets it done before I do, but he's looking at 39 seconds. He gets smoked by 10.5 seconds. Now, hold on now.
It takes you 30 seconds to eat a hot dog?
You sit down
Go
and try
into your fridge and go eat a hot dog real fast. Do it for the pod real fast.
I don't have hot dogs, but I will do it for you guys. It does not take 30 fucking seconds.
Next episode, we're seeing
I don't know.
One, I'm not doing it on the podcast. Two, but I will do it for you guys. I will do it for you guys.
Okay. So I think the conversation changes tremendously if we're putting that dog on the front end. Because the recovery time that Usain has to run down Joey only benefits him. So I think if it's at the end, it's Joey by a mile. I think if it's the hot dog at the front, it gets real interesting at that finish line.
No, I think either way, Joey crushes him. No debate.
Somebody,
it's not a debate, bro.
Somebody at work did say, "What if you ran 50 meters, had to crush a dog, and run another 50 meters?" And I said that leads to you puking on the track.
I think we're underestimating the amount of food that Usain Bolt had to eat, which
but not
I'm not saying he's a slow eater.
One sitting.
But for him, for his training and things like that, I think we're underestimating. I'm not saying he's the world record eater, but I'm also not saying he's an average Joe. But I think he can put it down.
Speed, not about how much you can put down.
Oh, he can, bro. You can finish a hot dog and a bun.
I guarantee.
In 20 seconds.
I could not.
The bun gets you bad.
You can't.
Especially
you can't deep throat a glizzy.
A dry bun, no.
It's a fight.
No condiments, no. I would almost say Joey Chestnut could eat 3 hot dogs and run 100 meters and still win.
I don't know about that. That's some wild talk. That feels a little wild to me.
That's how confident I am in my guy, Joey Chestnut.
We're also thinking that Joey Chestnut's going to run 100 meter with the average time, and I don't think that's.
I gave him 5.
As out of shape as you think he is.
No, you're a competitive eater. You have to be to do it at Joey's level. You have to be in a certain level of fitness. You do now. Eric Badlands and those, the guys who are 500 pounds doing it. They don't compete like Joey does. Joey is an athlete, dude. I hate to break it to you. Joey is an athlete. He trains like an athlete. He competes like an athlete.
I get that.
Okay, I'm glad you do. So hey, thanks for indulging my little hypothetical here, fellas. I'm firm in the Joey camp. I'm firm in the Joey camp.
You and me both, brother.
All right.
Okay.
You guys like watching grown men deep throat glizzies for a fucking fun Saturday, July 4th. So
it's a tradition. It's a tradition like none other.
I can't really take.
It's a tradition like none other.
We're calling deep throat and glizzies a fucking sport. So
hey, do you think dudes that play competitive esports are athletes?
No,
I don't either. To be honest with you.
Okay, I was just making sure that he wasn't being hypocritical. That's all.
No.
But Rob did mention in the group chat earlier this week, college football 26 has officially dropped. I don't know if either of you have had the opportunity to play. I have not.
I can't afford that early release, bro. What are we talking about here?
But go ahead. Have you been able to play, Rob?
I do want to. No, but I do want to say last year. I do want to throw it back. Last year, me and Herb did get it on release day.
Oh, we did.
Herb came over, and we played till about 9
I got there.
14 hours.
I got there after work about 5:30, 6 a.m. I mean, I am NCAA 2014. That was me. So the hype was there. So we played from by the time we got settled in about 6:30 until about 9 a.m. the next day.
9:30, yeah.
It was excessive.
Nonstop.
I'm not
we
proud.
A couple careers.
I'm not proud of it, but boy, did it happen.
How many Mountain Dews did you guys throw back? How many bags of Doritos did you inhale?
We didn't.
No, we pretty hot. We had diet soda. We did crazy with it, to be honest.
We had a pizza. We did have.
You were doing it in middle school.
No, I don't know if my heart could handle Code Red like that.
Code Red is the best Mountain Dew, though. Side note.
Baja Blast. Let's not go there.
Here we go. All right, so NCAA football.
I haven't got it yet because I sold my Xbox. and I play strictly all my games on PC. And EA Sports is a fucking idiot, and they choose not to, even though Madden is, which is their other premier game, and anything else EA does is on PC, but they choose not to have college football on PC. Therefore, I cannot play it at this point unless I get some sort of a console.
In fairness, I feel like when I think of sports games like that, it has to be on a controller, a joystick and controller. But I feel like playing it on a keyboard.
No, I play on controller.
Oh, you do?
You can play controller on
Okay,
PC. So like
Madden,
Madden,
one of those types. I thought you were talking literally playing Madden with a keyboard. I'm like that.
So if it's a capability thing, like if they're like we just don't have the capability to do it, I'd be like sure. But when Madden, which is almost very very similar of a game, I can pull that up on my PC and play right now. It is a little bit different. The play style is a little bit different with the new one. The old ones, I would agree with you. I do think it is kind of a big different game. I don't know how you feel, Eric, but I feel like NCAA plays a whole lot different than it used to.
Yeah. I miss certain aspects of 2014. I mean, that's a goated game. It's goated. I love that they brought it back. I'm excited for NCAA basketball in 28, 29. I don't know if we'll still be playing video games at that age, but hey, maybe.
Yeah, we will. That's what they're hinting at, though.
But
yeah, no, I'll get it eventually. Don't worry, I'll get it.
But that sparked a conversation, at least for myself, with the release of the game, of doing a little draft with the fellas here of the top college football traditions in celebration of the release and foreshadow the upcoming football season. And I believe the fellas got some notes written down. They're ready to go. We're gonna pick 5. We're gonna do a snake draft. We haven't talked order though. How do you guys want to do? You want to go oldest to youngest, youngest to oldest?
Whoever has the biggest Johnson. Jeez. I'll go first.
Jesus. my grandmother recently followed us on Instagram.
Is she still listening? Then shout out your grandma.
Is he really saying much when it's coming in at a whopping 4.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're not going that far.
Rob, you can start if you'd like, sir. Pick 101.
Just one pick?
1.1.
I think a lot of people being from Iowa want me to go with the Wave. But I've told Herb this, and I told him that I want to go to a game. I want to go to Virginia Tech. I want to go to Enter Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I see it on TV, a night game, it's just, and I have no bias there. It's electric, man. It's just looking out there and being a part of that crowd and that momentum and that energy. It just looks like that would be like an experience that I would make a trip out there for. That's to say that.
Yep, I like that one. Herb, we'll go oldest to youngest, so I'll let you go next.
All right. There's some that I could put above this, but I'm tried and true, baby.
Nope, I know where
right
it's
here.
going.
Right there. You see that, boys? That guy right there. You want to pick the entrance, the team taking the field to hail the victors, slapping that sign, or you want to give me Mr. Brightside in the third quarter? Because that is electric. Okay? Give me Michigan. Pick one. Whichever one.
We'll give you Mr. Brightside, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isaiah, go ahead.
I can't fault you for being a little bit of a homer with the first pick. So I got 2 back-to-back on this snake draft. So I'm taking my 101 easily. And this is painful being from Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Wisconsin jump around, baby.
It's a great one.
I've experienced that in person, and that shit is rugged. I can't even describe it. Especially being 15 beers deep, blacked out of my mind. Craziness.
Jesus Christ, we got Gran Turismo in the back.
I don't know when they're coming, baby, but they're coming.
So that's my first pick. My second pick.
I'm up next. Oh, you're up. Yeah, go ahead.
See, this one's a tough one. I could go a couple different directions. I just don't have a read on where you guys are going to be going. But
Mind your
I
business.
know. I think I'm going to go with the Florida State Seminole throw right at midfield, riding on the horse, throwing down the stake at midfield before the game. That's my number 2.
All right.
All right, for me.
Whoa. It's a snake draft. It's my turn. What are we doing here? Whoa.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, brother.
I'm going to give it to one of the most electric entrances of all football. Give me Howard's Rock and the run for Clemson.
Ooh, I was going to talk so much shit about that one.
Mm-hmm. Give me Howard's Rock. Give me the hill.
That is the dumbest shit ever.
Oh, with the balloons. The fans are right there. You got Dabo getting the air coming off the hump. Give it to me. Howard's Rock, baby.
No. The fact that they have to get on, 5 or 6 buses, drive around the stadium, get out of the buses, and then touch a rock and run down a hill. It's just cringy to me. I'm sorry.
It's tradition, baby. For those that came before you and those yet to come, baby.
I'm sorry. I can't agree with that one.
All right, Rob.
Fuck, man. I'm stuck.
You got 2 here, Rob.
All right. For those that don't know, Urban knows, I have a strong distaste for the University of Iowa. I was raised 30 minutes outside of Ames. I grew up going to Jack Trice. I'm a Cyclone through and through. But with that being said, I do have to set my bias aside, and I do have to give. I don't love watching Iowa Hawkeye football games, but I love what they do with the wave. Now, it's obviously not Enter Sandman or anything like that, but to see the kids that are, going through what they're going through, and they turn to the stadium, which obviously you can see it right there, 60 to 70,000 fans, waving at them. It makes those kids' day, life, whatever the case may be. So I will go with that one. The other one, this is just, I watched a lot of Penn State growing up. So I think the night whiteout is going to have a special place for me. So I'm going to take that one next. I think that there's not much more electric games than now, do they win big games? No, but there is not much more electric games than the night out for up there in Penn State.
All right. So, I mean, there's a big one in the Big Ten left. Okay. But I won't even mention the school's name, dotting that stupid I. Okay. It's a great college football tradition. Sure. You couldn't pay me. Don't do that. You couldn't pay me to pick that one here. You couldn't pay me to pick that one here. There's no chance in hell. So let me go with the Army-Navy Sing Second. Do you guys know what that is?
Yep. For the people
Rob, do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. For the people that don't know,
is that one
Army-Navy. Oh, you want to take a roll of dice here?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. I don't want to look dumb. Go ahead.
So at the end of the Army-Navy game, okay, it is tradition that both schools will sing their alma mater, kind of interlocked as a team. The winner of that game gets to sing second. Okay, I may be incorrect in saying that they do that for all the academy games, but definitely for the Army-Navy game. Looking forward to Army singing second next year.
Okay. I don't know how this one made it back to me, but this is a classic. The Ralphie run.
Oh, didn't go the way I thought you were going to go.
I don't know how Ralphie's run lasted to the third, but I'm going to scoop that up. I always love a live mascot getting thrown into it.
I didn't even know people still watch Colorado football. That's on me.
The other one, I don't think you guys are going to be expecting this one. I'm going to go down to good old Auburn, Alabama.
Tumors.
After a win, for those who are unaware, they get the entire city going to Toomer's Corner. to TP the shit out of it, and it looks electric. So, I will take that with my 4th pick.
Okay. All right. Back to me. I still wouldn't take that school from Ohio. Okay. And it might be a little blasphemous of me to say as a Michigan fan that I'm taking this one, but give me the play like a champion sign tap going into Notre Dame Stadium.
Motherfucker.
Hey, let me sit on that now, baby. Hey, it's arguably the most iconic phrase in college football. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Play like a champion will always ring true in college football, and Notre Dame gets to tap it. I'll give them credit where credit's due.
Shout out Lou Holtz.
All right, you got two,
Rob,
big boy.
last 2.
All right, boys. For me, Herb's not going to like this one, but for me, it's not as we get down this list, it's not as crazy as the ones we had in the beginning. But I think the 12th man down there at Texas A&M is something with that big stadium, what they got going on down there. I think the 12th man is something to mention. I mean, I think it's 100 plus thousand fans waving, doing that war hymn that they have. I like it. Don't have any qualms against A&M. I'm going to choose that one. Notre Dame was up next for me. Fuck, bro. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here.
There's some good ones out there still.
There are some good ones out there still.
I think
you could take the one that I've referenced.
You kind of mentioned a live mascot. And I think they still do it. Obviously, I'm not an Oklahoma fan, but I think it's fun to see the little wagon. I think it's after each quarter they run across the field.
The wagons, baby.
The little wagon.
Circle them up. Wasn't it last year when it fell? Remember when it was it last?
It's flipped a couple times.
It flipped over, right? Yeah. I'm going with that one, boys.
All right. I got 2 little niche ones. I'm not sure which one I want to go with.
I was going to say.
I know, but I'm sitting with. I got 2 in the chamber, baby. I only need 1.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm gonna give some respect to Chris Creighton and the Eastern Michigan Eagles. All right, my former head coach Drake. Okay. Oh yeah. Now I'm gonna say this because they botched the shit out of it when they first did it. Okay, but when Chris Creighton got in there, Chris Creighton's a blue collar guy. He's all about bringing your lunch pail to work. And so Eastern Michigan, buying into that theory, renamed their stadium the Factory and made the turf gray. You guys have seen that, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
perfect. Yeah. So their first game, they go out, and they had built a cinder block wall. And the players, the idea was they're going to come out and break down the wall, and they're blue collar, and they're going to break down. Except for the fact that they used real cinder blocks, and it took them about 4 minutes to knock down the wall for their grand entrance. Now, they have since switched to styrofoam blocks, thank God. Okay, but I like the mentality. I like the idea. Shout out Eastern Michigan. Shout out Chris Creighton.
Okay. Oh, tough spot. I got a lot of options out here that I still really like. And I think I'm going to have to go a homer pick, but I'm between 2 homer picks. So I take my wife's homer pick because she's kind of converted me into a Husker fan.
Nope. Don't do it here. Don't do it here.
We don't talk about Huskers on this podcast.
You hit him with the ski, ma.
No. See, I don't know if this one counts because this kind of gets into the bold or rivalry games and stuff. But for those unaware, Minnesota-Wisconsin playing one of the oldest rivalry games for Paul Bunyan's Axe each season. The winner of that game, so the Axe will be on the team sideline that won it the previous season. So, like a couple years ago, Wisconsin had it on their sideline. Minnesota wins the game. They storm Wisconsin's sideline to get the Axe. And then they run down to the opposing field goal post and pretend to chop it down. And I feel like that is one of my favorite traditions. So that is going to be my last pick.
All right. It is that's 5.
Yeah.
That's 5, brother.
Good ones that were left over though. Nobody wanted to pick the.
Can we throw in an honorable mention?
Nobody wanted to throw in the Ohio State dot in the eye.
No, because it sucks. It's stupid. They're the band. That's what they're supposed to do.
I wanted to. I thought we had one more. I was going to pick the. I got a love for the Volunteers down there in Tennessee.
I know where you're going. It's a great one.
And they park. It's on the river, right? The stadium's on the Tennessee River, and they have. I think the Tuesday before games, boats start pulling up along the river, and they have a tailgate party for the week and trying to link together and things like that. And so I think that's what when you mention college football game, when you mention it's all about the traditions, and it's fun and cool to see things like that still live and still people be passionate about it. So I'm going. That's my honorable mention.
I want to get to the point in my life where I'm able to tailgate a college football game for a week.
Hey, just work from home and just work on the boat for the week, brother.
Dude, you can't go half and half. You're either full on tailgating or you're working. I can't do both.
You guys have any other honorable mentions?
I think we have to mention the USC Trojan with the sword in the middle of the field. That's a solid one.
I think USC being dog shit the last 15 years has definitely hindered that one.
Yeah.
Take it from somebody who's
it's still a good tradition.
Take it from somebody who stood on that field and watched it happen live. It is pretty incredible.
And then my other option that I was going to say was the Nebraska, the Red Balloons, letting go of those after they score points. I think it's cool. Terrible for the
yeah. Let's let her. Let's litter. Let's hurt the environment. She's holding a gun to your head off screen, isn't she?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about that, considering Taylor Swift is taking a private jet to go 13 miles.
Hey,
you could have said Nebraska Night, the blackout or whatever it's called. I think that's kind of
the black shirts.
John Fullen with like the black jerseys in a minute.
What about what was left out that I thought somebody's going to mention is Alabama. What's the
where
they do Dixie Link Delight?
Oh yeah,
is that what they do? That's pretty that when you see the stadium and see it rocking. I mean, it's
Rocky Top at Tennessee.
I was gonna say University of Florida singing Bruce Springsteen,
or the Gator
Chop's kind of cool.
Well, you do both. Like they do. I think it's between third and fourth quarter they sing Bruce Springsteen.
Have you guys ever been to Jack Tri Stadium for Sweet Caroline, baby? A little Neil Diamond.
I'm a little surprised you didn't say
electric.
Either the air raid siren entrance or Sweet Caroline, but you didn't say it. You were over. I wanted to go with things that are. You were there struggling for picks. You were out the Vol Navy.
No, I had picks,
and you didn't mention Jack Trice once. Hey, don't let this man in the city of Ames.
No, I want.
Ban him.
The great. I thought we were going the best traditions.
Jail.
We were going.
Iowa wave. Didn't even bring up Iowa State. Jail.
I did preface that I do hate the University of Iowa.
It is a fantastic tradition that raises money for a good cause.
And I will add, Kirk Ferentz should have been fired.
Well, there's that. All right. On that note.
Okay, guys, let's wrap it up with some shout outs for the week. I don't really have anything on my end, so I'll just hand it over to one of you guys.
Rob, hit him with it.
Here.
My shout out is obviously the Gold Cup did wrap up. And unfortunately, the U.S. did not. They failed to obviously win that game. They lost 2-1. I think we scored in the fourth minute and then just couldn't hold it after that. And it was one of those things, man. The passion is just not there. Shout out's going to be. I'm so excited for the World Cup. I am a soccer fan. Chelsea's in the final of the Club World Cup. But when we're looking at the USA and the state it is right now, a lot of people want to put it on our skipper, say, hey, it's Mauricio's fault, it's this. But when I'm looking at those 7 to 10 players we mentioned a week or two ago that are not on the roster, if I'm looking at this loss and I'm seeing Mexico have, their premier starters out there and we're putting out a guy that's a backup midfielder for Houston Dynamo in the MLS is playing in a Gold Cup final, I put it all on their shoulders, man. Especially, Herb, I sent you the Gio Reyna thing. Some of these players did sit out because of the Club World Cup is unfortunate going on at this time. But But if you're not playing in those games, brother, there's no reason for you to fucking be there because I think he only played, and I think he missed 3 or 4 of the games. Pulisic missed it due to fatigue. It's just it falls on their shoulders. It truly does. But shout out USA making it that far, making it to the final. But I do look forward to next summer is just going to be filled with World Cup. I hope we bring our A game, and I hope we. I'm assuming we're gonna. I've seen leaks of what the projected lineup is when we have the stars out there, and we can compete with a lot of really good teams if we actually have those guys out there, which I would hope we would have that out there next year.
Let's hope they can gel, huh? God, please, we need it.
Yeah.
All right, my shot of the week. We haven't given these guys credit yet, but our intro song, written by a band called Adult Life. They're not a band, unfortunately, anymore, but I felt remiss that we'd made it to episode 10 and didn't shout out Here's to Nostalgia by Adult Life. Still got music on Spotify. Check them out.
Goated. Okay. That wraps up another episode of Don't Quote Us Sports. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Tell somebody you know to give us a listen. Any feedback is appreciated. And we love you all. Peace and love. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you.
Bye.